Well, hello, everybody. It is Megan here, the Healing Foods Coach. I hope you're all doing well. I'm feeling extremely well today. So, today's topic is and hopefully, if you're the same way, this will help you, but I have to focus on the positive things in life. So, why am I saying that? Well, as you can guess, some, or maybe not, but I'll tell you. I have to learn to be more focused on the positive accomplishments that happen in my life and not hold on as much as I do to the negative ones. And the reason why is because I can easily let so many amazing positive experiences pass me by because I'm so focused on what has not happened, right? Let me give you a perfect example. Okay, so as I shared a couple of videos ago, for those of you who watched them, if not, I'll recap. One of the things that I was determined to do regularly was get to the swimming pool in town once a week and swim a few laps. So the fitness pool here in Colchester, which is where I live, has a 25-meter pool that's open for public swim. So they set up lanes, a slow lane, which is that's me at the moment, a medium speed lane, and then a fast lane for like really fast, confident, technically sound, proficient swimmers. Now, in case you're wondering, I swim in the slow lane, and I will for a while because I've not been able to go actually swimming, like properly swimming, in about 15 years. So I'm out of practice. I'm using muscles I haven't used in a very, very long time, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I went in and swam a couple weeks ago, and I was determined to go for now just one day a week. You have to pay every time to go to the pool, and there's additional charges for lockers and all that kind of stuff, which it's not lots, but it adds up. I didn't want to overdo it and stress myself and say I'm going to go 4 times a week because I think that would be way too much for right now. So I was determined to get to the pool once a week and then go from there. Maybe build up to twice, right? Now, as it turns out, I'm very thrilled about the pool because however they do their chlorine treatment, you do not smell chlorine. It feels like you're swimming in fresh water. So I actually react to the old style traditional chlorine powder or tablets, whatever they put in the pools back in the day. The ones where your eyes would burn within, I don't know, 50 meters of the entrance to the pool. You could smell the chlorine kind of wafting out every time people walked out of the building. Those days, well, they don't exist now. They use it. It's whatever they use. There's no horrible smell. I don't break out in rashes or itchy skin. So this is big, right? And I know that when I get in the pool, it's a bit more exercise, and it's also going to be gentle on my back and my joints, all the good things, all the things I need to be careful of because of my joint dysfunction, my SI joint dysfunction, which if you missed the video, the sacroiliac joint, so it's the joints that connect the lower part of your spine to your pelvic bone at the back. Okay, it's that little bit of bone where the pelvic bone, I mean, everyone knows where your pelvic bone is, I would think. So the back of the pelvic bone where the lower part of your spine is attached, just before your coccyx, your tailbone area. Anyhow, so on either side, you have these joints that connect those things together. So it's kind of like, picture it like if this is your tailbone, boom, and then going around attached on either edge here and here. It's hard to show, but that's where you've got your the iliac part of your pelvic bone. So the iliac part connects to your spine with 2 joints, one on either side. Allows for movement and all that kind of good thing. Anyways, I have joint dysfunction. As far as they can tell, something I was born with. So I've always got a little bit of inflammation and just very low levels of kind of chronic back pain if I do high impact or high contact sports, which is why I don't do them anymore. Haven't done for a very long time. So swimming, something to do outside of just trying to get around and walking, right? So I went 2 weeks ago. I felt great. I was all set to go the following week, and then I got sick with a nasty cold virus. Didn't want to go out or do anything for almost that entire week. Bit of walking, that was the extent of it. And in the last 5 or 6 days, well, not so much the last day or two, but I started on statins a week ago. And the first 5 days or 6 days of that time, I noticed that I was having even more chronic lower back pain, as well as aches and pains specifically in my leg muscles. And my first thought was, oh no, is this fibromyalgia coming back? Because I definitely don't want that to be a flare-up. And so I was trying to take it easy. I just was feeling really wiped, very fatigued, easily fatigued. I would still get out and take the dogs for walks or walk into town with my husband for coffee or running errands. And then I would feel so fatigued afterwards. And I knew it wasn't because I was overstimulating my body with caffeine and suffering crashes. Been caffeine free since July. Didn't know what else it could be. I was getting to sleep typically by 10 at night, and usually getting at least a good solid 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Couldn't figure it out. And then it suddenly dawned on me a few days ago that, of course, I still do have, although it's relatively mild, I do have chronic kidney disease, early stages. It hasn't progressed, thankfully, and it will likely stay there forever now. But one of the key symptoms of chronic kidney disease is getting fatigued quite easily. And so I realized, well, that's probably a part of it. Why I still often felt fatigued in spite of being carnivore for 4 years, in spite of having no processed foods, no carbs of any kinds, no sugars, no stimulants, nothing for quite some time, I could still feel often very fatigued. And so that's part of it. But the other thing I realized, I don't know what prompted me to look, but I thought I would check out the potential side effects of the statins I've been taking, which, if you haven't seen my earlier videos about this, I have had to go back on due to hypercholesterolemia. But basically, one of the most common side effects, or two of them, with taking statins, and atorvastatin is the brand I'm taking at this point, is lower back pain and muscle aches and pains, particularly in the legs. And that's when it dawned on me. Oh, well, that's why. It's not, my fibromyalgia is not back. I feel clear-minded. I feel sharp, and I'm able to focus and do many different things a lot of the time. And that's when I kind of realized, okay, so wait a second. I'm feeling this extra soreness, not because I've pushed myself too hard, not because I went swimming 2.5 weeks ago. It's because of mostly because I'm dealing with stage 2 kidney disease. And I'm also, my body is starting to get used to the statins in the system. Now, thankfully, just so you guys know, the lower backache has been a lot less. So the increase I felt in the beginning of taking the statins, probably not the first day, but the second day in, I started to notice it. That has now gone back to just my normal kind of low-grade ache, dull ache that I feel because of my joint issue, which is great. And the sort of soreness in my leg muscles has also eased off. So I'm saying this because there are some people who legitimately need to keep their LDLs down, particularly, I would think, mostly if you're suffering like I do with, say, hypercholesterolemia. Along with that, I also have a lipid, I have dyslipidemia, which is a lipid abnormality, wherein my body likes to make more of the low density lipoproteins than is considered a healthy range. And the majority, if not all, of the lipoproteins that my body seems to want to make are the small, dense, low density lipoproteins. So those are the ones that have the atherogenic cholesterol, which is the stuff that can pass through fairly easily, pass through the vascular walls easily, and that can cause plaque buildup, potentially leading to heart attack. It can also mean that the cholesterol that is in these small, dense, low density lipoproteins that my body makes too much of on its own. Okay, it's not because of what I'm eating, it's because I have a genetic condition. And sorry, I know I've said this in the last few videos, but I feel like I have to repeat it. Sometimes for myself, just to say, wow, this is legitimately a thing. Okay. But most of the small and dense low density lipoproteins that my body produces are full of the atherogenic cholesterol. My body essentially is unable to effectively clear out the atherogenic cholesterol, which means it can cross the vascular walls, it can build up, it can potentially lead to plaque buildup, and there's a risk of heart attack. And as I've shared in other videos, my grandfather, my dad's dad, who had this as well, did suffer 2 heart attacks and had cancer twice. And he was actually a very healthy, slim, fit, ate fairly well guy. So hence why in this case, I'm going to listen to the GP and also my lipid specialist, that is why they're telling me to take the statins. If it was simply a case of if I did not have this condition or this lipid abnormality where the lipids in my system, because my body doesn't effectively clear them out, the cholesterol that is, sorry, because my body does not effectively clear that cholesterol out, it sits longer in the bloodstream than it's supposed to. Which from what I understand means it's at a much higher likelihood of becoming oxidized. And when it becomes oxidized, it can then go on potentially causing things like cancer, which is why there's such a concern. So my body seems to make more than enough on its own, again, not because of what I'm eating. I'm not overweight anymore. I've never smoked. I don't drink alcohol. I don't eat any processed foods. I do not eat carbohydrates or anything else like that. This is just a genetic thing that my body does because that's how it was made for whatever reason. And in this case, as I'm at 52, as I'm entering the years where the risks become that much higher for these complications, it makes sense to help keep it on track or under control by forcing my body to produce less of the low density lipoproteins, but in particular the small, dense, low density lipoproteins with the atherogenic cholesterol. So all of that to say that that's one of the things I'm going through. Though I will always have, again, it's a genetic condition, right? Just like the fact that I have sacroiliac joint dysfunction or SI joint dysfunction, I was born that way. That's just how my SI joint is. And certainly having multiple falls as a kid, you know, I fell a lot when I was learning how to ski. I fell a lot when I was learning how to skate. I have wiped out sledding as a kid. I have slipped on ice before more than once. I slipped and fell down a flight of stairs 16 years ago. And I ended up fracturing off the tip. I fractured my tailbone and actually broke the little tip, the very end tip broke right off. So I've had lots of damage to my lower back, which will just keep the area inflamed and therefore feeling the pain. So why am I sharing all that? Because I was so focused on the fact that, oh, I'm sore today. I just don't know if I have the motivation. I don't know if I'm ever going to feel like getting up and going to the pool again. Even though I wanted to get back to the pool, that's where I was feeling for the last couple of weeks. And I was feeling guilty, as opposed to, hey, something else is going on. I need to figure out what it is. I need to rest and try to heal so that I can get back to the pool, hopefully in the near future. And isn't that the craziest? I'm so quick to focus on all the things that went wrong or that didn't happen or that I couldn't do, as opposed to, yeah, but I'm obviously trying to feel better. I had a terrible cold, earache, sore throat, runny nose, sniffles, no cough, thankfully, but a sore throat. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I can't get to the pool. I feel horrible. I can't do anything. As opposed to, hey, I'm taking time to look after myself. I'm taking time to feel better. It was all about, yeah, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that, which is insane. I get that. I realize that I'm the cause of my own insanity. Okay. I understand that. But that's where my brain goes. And I have a feeling I am not the only person. So that's why I figured I'd share that with you guys. So today I woke up and I actually felt pretty good. I actually felt pretty awake. I didn't feel exhausted and fatigued beyond belief. I had a burst of energy and I decided, you know what? I'm going to get up and walk the dogs. Now, my husband and son are away for a couple of weeks. They're on a really cool guys trip, which is, they're going to have such a great time. And I realized I'm not quite sure what to do with myself. I have never been completely alone for this long with just me and the dogs, but that's okay. I'm going to make the most of it. And they're going to have a fantastic time. So, which is cool. But I actually wasn't feeling super sore or exhausted. So I made I had made breakfast. I ate early this morning. And I decided, you know what? I feel like I can at least, guess what? I feel like I've got the energy to get out now and walk the dogs. I mean, they're gone, so that's up to me anyways. But so I did. I took them for a walk and we had a great time. We had a nice walk. And I realized, wait a second. Instead of focusing on, I didn't feel like it initially, or maybe I didn't want to do this right away, but I got up and did it. And at that point, and you can hear one of them in the background, my next thought was, you know what? Today's going to be the perfect day to get to the pool, because there's a ladies only session between 11 and 12, and it'll be fairly empty because most everybody's at work or in school. And great, there's a bus not far from the house. I can catch the bus. It's like a 15-20 minute bus ride as opposed to 35 minutes walk. And you know what? I'm going to go. And I got all my stuff together. I showered, I got dressed, obviously, because I walked the dogs. I got all my stuff together and went and waited for the bus. And I waited for the bus. And I waited for the bus. And it was only after I'd been waiting, I left about 9:30. The bus was supposed to come just before 11, and it never showed up. And I saw an update notifying me that the bus that was supposed to be there just before 11 actually no longer operated during the week. Because I thought, if I have to walk all the way with my change of clothes and all my stuff, and then swim and then walk all the way home, maybe it's going to be too much for me. I was worried that I was going to do too much. And at that moment, when I realized the bus, there was going to be no bus coming, I had a decision to make. I was absolutely in the mindset that I wanted to get in the pool. I wanted to get back in the water. because I loved it last time. And so I could either have just quit and headed back home and felt guilty, or you know what, if I walk now, I'm already partway there, so I've only got another 15-20 minutes walk, and then by the time I get changed and get ready and get into the pool, I'll have at least 15-20 minutes to swim a little. And you know what? That's what I did. I could have given up. I could have quit because the bus wasn't coming. Instead, I trusted the fact that, you know what? I feel okay. I'm not having muscle aches and pains like I did a few days ago, because now I'm used to the statins and my fibro is not in a flare up. It has fully healed. And actually, I had a nice, enjoyable walk with the dogs, didn't overdo it, came home, checked out the bus routes and the time for the swimming and when it was open. So I was home for almost half an hour. So I gave my body a chance to just rest before heading out. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm not going back home now. I'm going to walk to the pool because I said I would go today. So I'm going to stick with it, and I'll get in as many lengths as I can before the session is over. And I actually got in 8 lengths. So what's that? 200 meters. I did 200 meters. I feel great. And in fact, I had such energy that I decided then and there I could probably figure out where the buses, some of the other buses were running from near where the leisure center was, back into town. But I thought, you know what? Why? I'm only like a 15 to 20 minute walk from town, if that. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to make the most of it. And I did. I had it into my favorite cafe. I had some sausages and eggs for lunch there, had a really tasty decaf coffee, read my Kindle for a little bit, just took some time, enjoyed the fact I went to the pool. And then I got I checked out some of the thrift stores, charity shops, and got a couple more bits and pieces for when I start work in November. And wow, I did it. And yet all that time, instead of going, hey, I finally got back to the pool today and I feel pretty good and I'm not achy anymore. I guess because I'm used to the statins now that it's been about just over a week. So now they're in my body. So I'm not feeling that increased back pain, just the normal low grade stuff that I had already from my joint issues. And also my leg muscles aren't achy today. That's a win. Instead of focusing on that, my focus was, but I only did 8 lengths. I didn't do the 10 to 12 that I had hoped for. Or, I know I did all of these things, but I didn't quite get to that. How crazy is that? Right? And I realized, you know what? This is me talking to me here. Meghan, be focused on the positive things. I got out, I walked the dogs without pain. I got all my swim stuff together and I went to the pool and I got in the pool. I had so many chances where I could have just turned around and said, nope, not worth it. Can't be done. I'll cancel. I'll do it another time. Could have made excuses, but I didn't. And that to me is such a victory. And do I want to have to haul all my swim gear on my back every single time because it's a 2.5-mile walk? No. But at least I know the bus that wasn't running today will run on a weekend. So on Saturday, I can get back to the pool if I don't feel like walking the whole distance. Guess what? The bus actually does run on Saturday. And so I can get the bus to the leisure center and the pool and walk back home. And I don't have to do all of it at once. And I don't have to force anything. And I can just enjoy what time I get. And it was so amazing. It was such a cool time today, and I was just so excited to make content for you guys. I know the videos seem to come more like probably every other day for the most part, as I've been busy getting myself ready for my new job, getting myself sorted with just regards to what's going to happen and how it's going to be when I get back to work full time. And I'm excited, but it's going to be a big change, but it is great news, and so forth. And what to do with myself, that I have complete control of the TV for 2 weeks. Wow. But that's also not a bad thing. So I just wanted to share this all with you guys, because I realized if I'm somebody who can so easily focus on the negatives and all the things I didn't do, like I didn't get to the pool the last 2 weeks, I didn't go regularly, like I said, as opposed to, hey, but I got there today and I did 200 meters, which is huge for me, and I walked the dogs. Yay. Those are victories. Those are pluses. And whatever that means in life, whether that's about, hey, I may not be zero carb yet, but I cut my carbohydrates down, or hey, I'm not fully on this keto carnivore way of eating yet, but I've cut out sugar, and I've been cutting out more and more of the processed foods, or I've cut out the processed foods. Now I'm on to sugar. Whatever it is, it's all positive. It's all a victory. So even if you're not quite where you want to be yet, no doubt you've made positive changes so far. And I want this to be a place where we're all about the positive changes. And I'm saying that because I am guilty. I am so guilty of being the first one to focus on the negatives instead of the positives. So I hope, as I talk to myself here, I hope this helps you guys, especially for people where you're like me and the first thing you do is you look at what you might see as a fail, or that didn't work, or I didn't quite do what I had planned. Try to find the positives instead. Anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. I really appreciate all of your support. You guys are so encouraging and so supportive. It's amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate that, and all your kind words and comments. And again, feel free to send me your comments, share your stories, ask me questions, and I will always respond to you. If I don't know the answer, I will let you know. And if I have an answer, I will provide that for you as well. That's it for now. I hope you guys have fantastic days. Thank you guys so much for everything. Love you. See you guys in the next video. Bye.